some GM vehicles don't have an off switch for the fan. So this 1980 truck, this is without AC. I think AC had an off switch, but this one you have low, medium, or high. So as soon as you turn the ignition on, the fan is on. And sometimes you might just want to have the ignition on for whatever reason and not have the fan going. And there's no actual way to switch it off. I think they called it something like a positive ventilation system so that there's always airflow through the cabin. Um, so anyway, if you want to have it so that you can switch it off, I've got that set up here. So I've got the ignition on, and you can probably hear there's no fan on. And this involves no cutting of any wiring and just installation of a relay and a switch, and that's it. And it's really easy to do using this existing wiring. So I've got my switch here, and maybe you can hear that. So that retains all of the factory settings there, and the switch is simply down there. It's in a hole that was already there, so no drilling either. And that's actually a ground switch, so I'll explain what that means in a second. So let's have a look at how that's done. That's literally all you do in the cabin. You just have one wire coming in to that switch, and you can see I've even grounded it here where there was an existing bolt. That's the choke, manual choke there, so that's nothing to do with it. It's just that switch takes a ground from there, and then that ground wire goes to the relay through the cabin. It's really simple, so let's have a look in the engine bay how that looks. So here we go, here is the relay, that's it. So let's just have a look at what's going on here. So the relay installs just here. There's already a hole here, so we'll plumb that in there, no drilling or anything required. So here, this is the power coming in to the motor. So if we follow that through, this is the normal routing, and there's this pigtail connector here. So if we skip the whole relay, that pigtail normally connects to this connector here. So that just goes straight there. So we bypass all that. That's the factory wiring. So I haven't had to cut anything at all. And this goes here, and that is the resistor set. So where these wires come from the switch, and whichever position that's in, that will add resistance to each wire, and that affects the speed. So this way we retain the full speed. So again, there's nothing we've changed here. All we've done is we've interrupted this connection that normally is like this, just goes straight there, and we put the relay in. So the way to do that, again, it's really easy. So we've got a male terminal connector that goes into this female pigtail here, and that goes into terminal 30 of the relay, so that's the incoming power. And then the outgoing power, which is this one, is in terminal 87. So effectively that's all a relay is doing, is you're connecting 2 points, and then in the middle you've got a switch that turns them on and off, and there's a little diagram up here that kind of shows you. So we've got incoming power going to terminal 30 and outgoing going to 37. Ignore this, I just reused some wiring that I had, so this is actually can be kind of cut off here. And then what we do here to make it even easier on wiring is where this comes into terminal 30, we loop that terminal, so there's actually two wires coming from that, from this one, and where it plugs in, which you can't see, but if you imagine the opposite side of this, it's got a wire coming out, and that's this one here, and that wire is for the on-off switch of the relay. So because this has power all the time when the ignition's on, this also powers the relay. So we've got a power going to terminal 30 and 85, which is for the switch. So effectively 3 of the terminals are used with what's there. So we've got power going in, and then we jump that across to the switch of the relay, and then it comes out of 87, and that goes to our motor. And then all we need to do to make that switch work is here at terminal 86, we have a ground wire. So this goes through here, follows the wiring loom here, and then there's a grommet just by the brake booster that's already there, so again, no drilling needed. I'll show that in a second. And that goes into the cabin, into that switch that I showed you, and that's how we're able to turn the fan on and off. So normally, well, sometimes it doesn't matter which way you wire the switch of the relay, the thing that makes it go on and off. Sometimes people run it so that the power goes into the cabin, but this way it's a lot safer because it's a ground wire. So if anything, effectively this power wire here is minimized, and if this shorts on anything, then it doesn't matter, it just turns the fan on. So there's no risk really of anything here. So but that's it, that's all you have to do. So we're just using what's there. So again, this plug normally goes here, and then this doesn't exist, and so all we've done is we've kind of butted into this, and we've not cut anything. So male terminal, female terminal with two wires, one coming out and then into the on-off switch of the relay, and then the power coming out of the motor is there. So that's our three connectors, and then the ground is the one that runs across here to the switch, and that goes in a factory position, and that makes the system work, and it's minimal effort, no drilling, no cutting. Of course, the only thing you have to cut is your own wires here and crimp terminals, but you know, you can return this to factory by simply unplugging this, plugging it here, remove that, done. There you go.